Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we will be starting off with our public hearing regarding the budget. This is an ordinance pursuant to Section 2-748 of the Code of Ordinances of the Village, which requires that the Board of Trustees, within the first quarter of each fiscal year, pass an annual appropriation bill appropriating the sum of money as may be deemed necessary to defray all necessary expenses and liabilities of the village. Citizens or members of the public may attend the hearing and provide oral and/or written comments and ask questions concerning the proposed appropriation ordinance, ordinance number 24-17. I will now turn it over to our Finance Director.
Thank you, Mayor. I am presenting a balanced budget with a surplus of $56,970. We are predicting revenue to increase by $1.5 million over last year due to increased state distribution, ambulance and water billing, and cannabis tax, just to name a few. We are also predicting expenditures to increase by $1.8 million over last year due to increases in water rates and hiring additional police and fire staff. Now I want to break down the $1.8 million increase in expenditure by departments, starting with administrative departments. Administrative overall had an increase of $77,000, and is mostly due to service provider increases, which is vendors. Police department had an increase of $469,000 due to service providers and salaries. Fire department had an increase of $227,000 due to increase in salaries and ambulance services. Road and Bridge, or Public Works, had an increase of $229,000 due to increase in salaries and equipment. Water Department had an increase of $342,000 due to service providers and equipment. And MFT Fund had an increase of $290,000 due to street improvements. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the public? If not, we'll close the public hearing, and I'll now ask you to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This meeting is officially called to order. Roll call, please.
Trustee Eves.
Present.
Trustee Lilly.
Present.
Trustee Dunlap. Trustee Blakey.
Present.
Trustee Clark. Trustee Marshall.
Present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Is there anyone here tonight that's interested in addressing the board? If so, you may step forward now. When you step forward, please state your name, please.
Good evening, Mayor and Board Trustees of the Board. My name is Carolyn Gindel, and my husband Jim. We have lived in the village since our third child was born, and that's been 65 years ago. We lived in the same house. I'm 91, and he is 92. And if you drive by our house, he does a very good job of keeping up the property inside, and I do a fairly good job of keeping it up inside. Now, we have a neighbor to the west of us. They are renters. And I can see the property because I'm in the room to the northwest corner where my computer and sewing and desk are. A few years ago, the first tree came down into our house in a strong windstorm. It had hit our roof, put a hole in it, knocked the cap off the chimney, and hung precariously on the gutter. We called our insurance company and had that taken care of, and the insurance paid for the damage. Thank goodness. Now, in the ensuing years, we've had 2 more dead trees from that property come down on our property. Thank goodness, not into the house. 2 of them were fir trees and came down into the property itself. And Jim can't mow grass with fir trees in the yard. We had it cut in half, and the first one got off to the side. Eventually, it was cut up and taken away with a lot of push and shove. The third one is still sitting there on the edge of the property. A young man who lived in that property prior to this couple moving in had said to us, came over and said, "Do you remember us?" Said it to my husband. "Do you remember me?" Well, 13, 14 said, "No, not quite." Said, "I live next door." Oh, and he said, "Is it vacant?" And we said, "No. The grass is high. Cars are in the driveway. The grass in the back is a nice grass field. It looks like it's deserted." And part of this problem is that this property is under the management company that rents this to Claire Bundy. They are from Oak Park. They have their phone number and address, and I've tried to contact where we had trouble with the first tree, and I had a very hard time getting in touch with them. The reason I'm making this statement is because I don't think this is the kind of a village that needs property like that in a neighborhood. I thought you had laws that kept the grass in the front yard at least cut down to a reasonable size. Management companies like this charge a good amount of money, and they get it from the person renting them, from them, but they don't do our village any good. Why can't there be something in your rules that say a management company can't buy the properties and then rent it? Why does it have to be that way? Is our village so in such shape that people don't want to buy the houses? I don't think so. Not when I see my other neighbor's house. I'm asking you to truly think about this problem with management companies. And if you can, do something about it so Lynwood stays the village that I've known for 65 years. And it's been a very good village. It's been a good place to raise our 5 children. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Gendel. Appreciate it. Is there anyone else here tonight that is interested in addressing the board?
Since she introduced me as Mr. Gindel, yes, I am Mr. Gindel. I spent 20 years on the board of this trustee. I'm the only living trustee left of this village. And what I see what's going on is terrible. It's not good. We got a good mayor, we got good people up front, but things are being done. Now, the water main in front of my house was leaked ever since they put it in. I was a licensed plumber and a certified welder. I have built, that elevator tank, the first one was put in, I inspected it, and I told them it was going to leak. And they said, no, it wasn't. They filled it full of water and it leaked. I said, I'm a certified welder. My wells were inspected this thick, X-rated. I know what I was talking about. They had to take the water out and redo it. I don't know what is going on, but people don't inspect the things and say that this has got to be done. The grass along the curb is all green because the hydrant still leaks. And I told them that when they put it in, it's going to leak. They could care less. No, it ain't. Don't tell me, I'm a licensed plumber. I've been all through there. I put in more water main than they ever thought about. So this is what I got to say, and I'm not happy about what things going on. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Gendel. Mr. and Mrs. Gendel, Mr. Gendel, you've spoken. Your neighbor has spoken to the building department and public works, and you are aware of the steps that the villages have taken thus far. We'll talk to you after the board meeting, okay? All right. Thank you. Is there anyone else tonight that is interested in addressing the board? Step.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Boss. I live on 203rd Street, right across the street from the Kindles. I'm here to support them. As you know, I've been here the past 2 months complaining about the neighbors. First time I complained, you gave their neighbors some warning or something on their door about mowing the lawn. It was mowed then. So they hired somebody right away to mow the lawn. It has not been mowed since. That was 2 months ago. I'm just asking, cannot this be checked on a regular basis? And if this was in one of the newer neighborhoods, I don't know if they have HOAs that take care of this, but it needs to be checked on a regular basis. I'm asking this question. Number two is I complained about my neighbors with 6 cars in the driveway that have been moved in years. After I complained, 3 of them were removed. And as soon as those 3 were removed, another one showed up. So now there's 4 cars in the driveway instead of 6 that are unplated. She's a single woman in her 50s, I believe. She tries her best to keep up with the yard. I understand that. But if you can't do it, you shouldn't be there. It's a rule. I understand. There's like a half an acre, 3/4 of an acre yard. I mean, if you can't do it, you shouldn't be there. I mean, I don't know if you agree with me or not. If you can't do it, I don't think anybody on this board would want to live next to her for a living. If you drove past her, I don't think you would like it at all. And like I said before, I've lived here for 30 years. My property value has gone up maybe $100,000 in 30 years. That's not much to look forward to. I think this village could be better than this. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Is there anyone else here tonight that is interested in addressing the board? All right, we'll move on. Is there a motion to approve minutes dated June 25th, 2024?
So moved.
Motion by Marshall, supported by Lilly. Roll call.
Eves.
Yes.
Lilly.
Yes.
Blakey.
Yes.
Clark. Yes. Marshall.
Yes.
That motion carries. We'll now move on to our standing committee reports, starting with Economic Development. Trustee Blakey.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out this evening. In terms of economic development, 2 exciting things to announce. Number one, at the last board meeting, the mayor announced the arrival of a new grocery store for the village of Lynwood. This is going to be at 198th and Torrance in the Matanke Strip Mall. Just wanted to make sure that everyone understood that this is going to be a full-service grocery store with a meat and butcher shop, as well as groceries and so forth and so on. The owners are the Wanchos Tacos brothers. They are currently established in several different municipalities with their taco business. But this will be the first time that they will be doing a grocery store, but they were trained by and came up under Pete's grocery store. They work for Pete's. I think they're related to the Pete's family. So we're really excited about this grocery store coming to the village, and as they progress, we will let you know. The next one is the 198 Fitness. There's a 198 Fitness Center that is coming just across the street from the Matanke Strip Mall. It's going to be right there at 198th and Torrance in the empty lot right there. We're very excited about that. They are currently vetting contractors to build their place out, but this will be a new development right there at 198th and Torrance. And then finally, BAM, you see, is just about finished with all of their construction for the exception of their driveway. They are still waiting on IDOT to provide them approvals and permits. And as soon as they get those, they will be able to move forward. That's all I have for economic development. Can I move on to community affairs?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. The Lynwood Chamber of Commerce is having its next Coffee and Connection on August the 22nd, which is a Thursday, and that's going to be from 8:30 a.m. until 9:30 a.m., and that's going to be held at the Dunkin' Donuts. August 22nd, this is the Lynwood Chamber of Commerce. They're going to have their next Coffee and Connection on August 22nd from 8:30 a.m. until 9:30 a.m., and that is going to be held at the Dunkin' Donuts, which is right there at Glenwood Dyer Road and Torrance, right there on the corner of the new Dunkin' Donuts. I hope that all of you all were able to experience and participate in the Linvinia that just happened this past Saturday. This was the second one of two that we've had for the summer. It's always a good time, and I hope that you were able to enjoy it. Upcoming dates in August, one is the National Night Out that's going to take place on August the 6th at Liberty Memorial Park, and that's going to be between 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. And then finally, the Lynwood Festival. This will be the 65th annual Lynwood Festival. That's going to happen this time at the Ho Chunk, in the Ho Chunk parking lot and the Ho Chunk area just behind their building. This is the first time that we're going to be over there in terms of the Lynwood Fest, but we're expecting a very good turnout and a very good time. And it's going to be just like it has been in former years. There'll be plenty of things like in Kids Zone, things for adults to do, plenty of vendors, and they'll also have fireworks at the end of the evening. That's all I have, Madam Mayor, for Community Affairs. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Planning and Zoning, Trustee Lilly.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam Mayor.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Glad to see you all. I have nothing for planning and zoning, ma'am. Move on to ordinances and resolutions.
Yes.
All right, I'm seeking an ordinance on a second read action taken. Motion rather, on appropriation ordinance number 2417, an ordinance pursuant to section 2-748 of the Code of Ordinances of the Village, which requires that the Board of Trustees within the first quarter of each fiscal year pass an annual appropriation bill appropriating the sum of money as may be deemed necessary to defray all necessary expenses and liabilities of the village. Citizens or members of the public may attend the public hearing and provide oral and written comments and ask questions concerning the proposed appropriation ordinance.
There's a motion. Is it supported? Supported. Motion by Lilly, supported by Eves. Roll call.
Eves. Yes. Lilly.
Yes.
Blakey.
Yes.
Clark. Marshall.
Yes.
That motion carries.
Next item I have, I'm seeking for motion on the first read, no action taken on resolution number 24-18. This is a resolution authorizing the village president to execute a contract with Midwestern Electric LLC.
There's a motion. Is it supported? Supported. Motion by Lilly, supported by Eves. Attorney Boyle.
Yes, good evening, everybody. This is a contract that is being proposed for the village to perform some work on one of its transformers. The Director of Public Works, Mr. Garcia, solicited quotations and proposals for the performance of this work on the assumption that it would be something that would cost $20,000, maybe less than $20,000. Unfortunately, after soliciting the proposals, two vendors submitted quotes that were substantially higher than $20,000. Midwest Electric was the more reasonable of the two. From what I understand, this is a vendor with a fair amount of experience in dealing with municipalities. No reason to think that they won't do a quality workmanlike job on the project. The reason I bring up the process is that under your Code of Ordinances, ordinarily when you let contracts for work or materials that are in excess of $20,000, you have a bid procedure that you are to follow, unless the trustees act by a vote of 2/3 of the entire board to waive the competitive bidding process. Given the background for this contract, it's something that I think you should consider and do. Your alternative, if you decide not to do that, is that this action would be removed and the village would then go back to the square one and post the bid notice and solicit bids.
Roll call.
Eves.
Yes.
Lily.
Yes.
Blakey.
Yes.
Clark.
Abstain.
Marshall.
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you.
This concludes my report, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Health and Wellness, Trustee Clark.
Okay, I'm gonna apologize to the government here and the audience for getting off work late and not getting here on time. But I have no report at this time because I was too busy. But I would like to ask Attorney Dan to explain ordinance 24-17, please. I wasn't here in the last meeting because we didn't have one, but.
Oh, yes, sure. Ordinance 2417 is the village's annual appropriation ordinance. It's an ordinance that is required to be passed within a municipality's first fiscal quarter by both your Code of Ordinances and the municipal code. The purpose of an appropriation ordinance is to establish an, for lack of a better phrase, an outer limit on expenditures that the village would make over the course of the fiscal year, okay, which is then monitored and controlled by your other processes, approving bill payments, approving bill matter memos, things of that nature. Without a appropriation ordinance being in place, a municipality has no authority to spend anything on current contracts or expenditures or, as a general rule, financial obligations.
So this is something we've been doing all the time?
Oh, yeah. It's annually required by the Muni Code and by your Code of Ordinances.
Okay, great, thank you for that.
And you were late, so you missed the public hearing portion that referenced that.
I
So
apologize again.
it's okay. No worries. Thank you. Does that conclude your report?
Yeah, President.
Okay, thank you. Finance, Trustee Eves.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Motion to approve bill payment memo 1501. Total cash disbursement is $421,969.82, which includes payroll for the period of June 9th, 2024 through June 22nd, 2024. Excuse me. And the total amount of $190,253.27.
There's a motion. Is it supported?
Support.
Motion by Eves, supported by Lily. Roll call.
Eves.
Yes.
Lily.
Yes.
Blakey.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
That motion carries.
Madam Mayor, I also would like to put forth a motion to approve bill payment memo 1502. Total cash disbursement is $317,412.05, which includes payroll for the period of June 23rd, 2024 through July 6th, 2024. Total payroll cash disbursement was $186,662.11.
There's a motion. Is it supported?
Support it.
Motion by Eves, supported by Marshall. Roll call.
Eves.
Yes.
Lily.
Yes.
Blakey.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Marshall.
That motion carries.
Madam Mayor, I also would like to inform the residents and everybody else as well that our final fundraiser for our scholarship will be this Sunday, July 28th, from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Liberty Park. It is a cigar, smoke, and sip. The tickets are $30, which includes a food ticket. Margaritas Bar and Grill will be there providing the food. Stogie Cigar Bar will be there as well. And we have a DJ. You know, $30 also includes a appreciation gift that we would like to give those that come out to support the scholarship. You can pay at the park, or we do have tickets available, myself and Trustee Marshall. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Public Safety, Trustee Marshall.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't have any report, but I am anxious to swear in our new canine officer, Knox. So get them ready.
Thank you.
That's all I have, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. We'll move on to our departments, starting with the Police Department. Chief Thomas.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, citizens. First, we'll be giving you stats since our last board meeting. 343 traffic stops, 18 arrests, 22 guns recovered, 646 building checks, 33 domestic incidents, 165 ordinance violations, and a total of 1,709 calls for service. Just reminding the public that we still have our STEP grant currently in effect throughout the month of July. This is a traffic enforcement grant where we will be citing speeders. As announced earlier, our National Night Out will be August 6th from 5 o'clock p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. at Liberty Park. This is an event that's designed to strengthen the community relationship with our youth and the police department. Also, we take advantage of this opportunity to give away school supplies. So if you know of some youth that need school supplies, please show up. We have plenty to give out. A case update on July 7th. Our officers responded to a road rage incident on Route 30, which was a dispute over the light change. Unfortunately, a young lady discharged a weapon towards the vehicle. Proud to announce that our officers and our detectives, persistent follow-up, were able to not only locate the vehicle involved, they were able to also locate and arrest the offender involved, and we were able to recover the gun involved. And due to their work, their expertise, we were able to secure a charge of attempt murder on the individual who was involved in this road rage. So excellent work done by these officers and these detectives in this incident. Lastly, for those of you who've been wondering about the condition of the officer who was involved, who was shot in the line of duty, grazed in the shoulder, while assisting in Fort Heights, the Cook County Sheriff's. We're pleased to announce that his health, he's doing very well. As a matter of fact, he's been cleared and has returned to active duty. But we encourage all of you to come back out on August 27th, where we will be acknowledging him and honoring him with a Purple Heart for his injury he received in the line of duty. Also, I want to thank the Thornton Police Department and the Cook County Sheriffs who were there when this incident occurred, and they gave immediate aid to our officer and his well-being. So, again, we encourage the public to come out on next council meeting, August 27th, where we would be honoring that officer with the Purple Heart. And thank you, Madam Mayor. That ends my report.
Chief Alston.
Good evening, Mayor and everyone. First off, I would like to give our Lynwood Fire Department condolences to East Hazelcrest Fire Department for losing their fire chief. Chief Fallow was a firefighter for about 73 years in the village. Him and his family ran the police department and fire department, and he passed away. So we want to give our condolences to East Hazelcrest Fire Department. Stats for the fire department from the last board meeting: 83 ambulance calls, 1 fire in a mobile home, 2 rubbish fires, 2 accidents with injuries, 7 accidents without injuries, 2 gas leaks, 1 power line down, 3 service calls, 2 smoke and odor investigations, 12 invalid assists, 2 mutual aid station coverage changes, 3 dispatch and counsel and route calls, 9 false fire alarms, and 2 CO2 alarms, making that 133 calls for service since the last board meeting. We have 4 EMTs that currently work on our fire department that will be attending the fire academy starting in August. It's a 3-month academy to make them become firefighter EMTs. They graduate in December. And then we have 1 person who's actually the mayor's executive assistant who will be attending EMT school as well starting in August, being completed in December. 4 of these employees are grant funded. So they're on a grant funded to go to school to get education to better serve our community and help upgrade our staffing. And that ends my report.
Public Works, Mr. Garcia.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just want to give my productivity report. I have 0 water main breaks to report since our last meeting. We repaired 1 water service line, 2 street signs repairs, 1 street light repair, and we also reinstalled the street light at 198th and Brook. I know we've spoke to a lot of residents and they've been wanting that street light back up, and finally we were able to put it up about 2 weeks ago. We've also cut 3 vacant residential lots, and I also want to give a big thanks to my public works, to my team, as we did a cleanup week throughout the storm. They worked for the last 2 weeks trying to pick up all the debris in the street. I want to thank the residents for being patient with us as we came by and picked up all the branches and debris that was out there. I also want to thank you. Thank you. I want to thank Starbucks for coming out today and helping us out with our beautification. They came out and helped us do some beautification at one of our parks. So we want to thank Starbucks. We also have been doing some demo work, some cleanup at the Ambry Estates entrance at 19632 Torrance. We've been able to pick up all the debris, remove some of those old dead trees, just to make sure that the village of Lynwood looks as it should, which is great. So my team and I are working very hard, and hopefully within the next week or 2, we should be complete with that.
Thank you.
And that'll be the end of my report.
Thank you. Mrs. McPherson, Village Engineer.
Good evening. I just wanted to give you an update regarding the Lynwood IL Road sanitary sewer extension. My office has started the design process for that. Should be a couple of months, and then we'll keep you guys posted on when that'll go out for bid. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Finance, Mrs. Swiderick.
Thank you, Mayor. The fiscal year 2022 audit has been finalized and completed. We do have the final draft, and I'm working with the auditors to get the dates to start the field work for fiscal year 23 audit. As soon as I have that, GW and Associates will be out to start the field work, and we can get that rolling. That's the end of my report.
Thank you. Building, Ms. Hurley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The number of permits issued from June 25th, 2024 to July 23rd, 2024 were 56 permits, the permit total of $10,554. Also want to remind residents, if you have a home rental registrations are now past due. Your registration fees have now doubled. So please make sure you are registering your rental properties ASAP. If you have any additional questions or concerns, you can call the building department at 708-758-6101, option 4. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Attorney Boyle.
No report.
Madam Clerk.
Yes, I just want to remind our residents that vehicle stickers will be going up as of August 1st. Right now, you can get your vehicle sticker for $48. As of August 1st, it will be the original price, which is $96 per vehicle. So you still have a few days to get your vehicle stickers for $48. I also want to remind our residents that we have a lot of people coming through soliciting in the Village of Lynwood. If they do not have a solicitor's permit, they are not supposed to be out soliciting. They come to the office, they're supposed to get their permit, they're supposed to get a background check before they can go out, and this is just for safety reasons for our residents. So if you see someone out soliciting without a village solicitation permit, please ask them to go to the Village of Lynwood to pick up one, or you can call the police. And then I have the distinct honor to swear in our new K-9 officer, Knox.
Chief, would you like to acknowledge your junior officer?
Okay, Knox and your handler. Do you solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois and of Knox? You faithfully discharge the duties of the office of K-9 officer for the Village of Lynwood according to the best of your ability, Knox.
Right.
All right.
Knox is in official uniform, ladies and gentlemen. If you'd like to get a picture of that up close, you have to check out the tie. So, all right. Yes. This is a ceremonial thing we do, yet it's important because Knox is considered an officer, and so we want to swear him in and give him the same honor and respect that we do our other members of patrol. So thank you to his handler, Officer Kimbrough. I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge, I thought I saw Mrs. Kimbrough here, yes. So she allows Knox to come home every night with them and sleep with them. And she has welcomed him into the family. Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't supposed to tell that part. Sorry. I'm sorry, no, Knox goes home and sleeps in the cage because he's a mean old dog. But no, thank you to Mrs. Kimbrough, thank you, Officer Kimbrough, for your service, and thank you, Knox.
All right, so Knox is 2, he turned 2 July 4th of this year. We got Knox from Romania. He had a 10-week training session. I joined Knox week 6 and 10. He's considered a dual-purpose dog. He does both detection, tracking, you find lost kids, lost people, apprehend bad guys. He is social, so you're more than welcome to cut him and use him. He's been riding with me for the last few weeks. Getting used to those.
So,
And not
thank you.
supposed to shake everybody's hand.
Right. All right, thank you.
Excuse me, that's okay.
Hold on a second.
Tell him to smile. Oh, there you go.
Knox.
All right, Knox, go to work.
Right. Quit slouching.
No. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Knox will be around after the meeting, so you guys can hang out.
That concludes my report.
All right, thank you. I should acknowledge you guys. Do you want to speak? You guys have been such supporters of the K-9 family. You sure? Okay, all right. All right. Well, thank you for everything that you've done for the Village of Lynwood.
Yes, Stacy.
Now that they're gonna make me talk about
Yes,
you.
please.
Stacy fully funded our last K-9 dog, Maverick, who was also partner to Officer Kimbrough. Unfortunately, Maverick succumbed to a rare illness, and Stacy and her team were there from beginning to end. The Village of Lynwood did not have to pay one medical bill. They supported the Kimbroughs, and they continue to support the Kimbroughs, and you see they continue to support Lynwood PD because they are here with us still, so thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, I have just a few things for you all. I do want to acknowledge the property tax issue. We see it all over the news. Everyone's talking about it. I had a lot of your neighbors approach me Saturday at Lynvinia. What we are seeing is a combination of properties being overassessed and underassessed. This is not a Village of Lynwood issue. We have no control here. But the control lies with the assessor's office and the recorder of deeds. What I have been saying to residents is if you believe there is an error in your property taxes, you still have an opportunity to go online and process a certificate of error. If indeed they find an error, they will adjust your property bill. If not, your bill is what it is. The recorder of deeds, commissioners, and the assessor are elected officials. So my expectation of residents is that you hold them accountable. They have to fix this. They have to get this right. Residents cannot continue to afford to see their property tax bills skyrocket the way that they have, and we need to get them all at the table so that we can make sure that next year is not as impactful as this year has been on many of our residents and our surrounding communities. I want to thank Cook County. The Build Up Cook team was out this week, and they did their walkthrough of Village Hall, our police department, and our pump station. We are getting some major repairs here in Village Hall, PD, and the pump station, courtesy of the Build Up Cook program. It's not going to cost us $1, but it is going to help us tremendously. And so they had their team out doing measurements and creating design concepts. The money has already been approved by the county, and so we're hoping to see some forward movement with that work over the next couple of months to be completed in 2025. The last thing I want to say is, and I'm saying this because the resident that asked me to address this is here, so I'm going to do it briefly, though. This is a very interesting season. You all know we're in the midst of an election cycle, and so you're going to see things, you're going to hear things. People are all over social media doing what they do best. I am not on social media. At our town hall meeting, I asked residents to not screenshot social media and send it to me, because if you're on social media talking, you're not trying to have a conversation with me. If you want to have a conversation with me, I'm here. You can call, you can meet with me, you can email me. We can talk about anything that you want to talk about. I am not going on social media. I will not be replying to anyone on social media. That is not the appropriate forum. Neither is the board meeting. If you have questions and you want answers, come and see your mayor. I am not hiding from anyone. I am now going to ask that these trustees entertain a motion to go into executive session to consider the appointment, employment compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees pursuant to Section 2C1 of the Open Meetings Act, to consider the appointment, employment compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees. We are going to discuss also a litigation matter, litigation to consider an action against the village that has been filed and is pending before a court or administrative tribunal, or when the public body finds that an action is probable or imminent pursuant to Section 2C11 of the Open Meetings Act. Is there a motion? Motion by Clark. Is it supported? Supported by Eves. Roll call.
Eves. Yes. Lilly,
Yes.
Blakey,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
That motion carries. We're going to adjourn to a very brief executive session. If you want to stick around, you can. Make sure you greet Knox. I'm going to ask Mr. Garcia and Ms. Hurley to speak with the Gendels and their neighbor and provide an update with where we are with their neighbor. Ladies and gentlemen, we are done with executive session. Is there a motion to adjourn this board meeting at 7:19 p.m.? Motion by Clark, supported by Eves. Roll call.
Eves. Lilly,
Yes.
Blakey,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
That motion carries. This meeting is adjourned.